Welcome to the December 22nd, 2015 meeting of Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh?
I was distracting, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
He decided to join the meeting now.
That's fine. Ms. Marsh?
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in a pledge of allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for the individuals serving our nation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under country God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
The clerk will please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Phelan?
Here.
Mr. Vanderhoff?
Here.
Mayor Winterfield?
Here. There are no presentations scheduled for the evening, so we'll go right into reports from volunteers. At this time, are there any reports or comments from volunteers serving our community? Joe?
Joe Wells, 5 Washington Street, Pequannock, Pop Plains. I'm just giving you an update on the bike path. The survey, the environmental survey that I had talked about the last time was completed by the end of November, and it was reviewed with RBA, the company that did the survey, the Morris County Board of Transportation, and basically the outcome was this, that there is no major environmental impediment. There are environmental corrections that have to take place, and they vary in degree. And we're meeting with the EPA and DOT to just review and get permitting to correct those remaining things. As I said the last time, we're going to be paving and doing other remediation, which would be part of the construction, and that hopefully some of that will coincide with the remediation that we have to do on the path itself. Also, that those costs and remediation are going to formulate the final offer to the railroad as to what the payment would be exclusive of those costs. And we hope to have later in the winter this year the ability to come around and do a public meeting with an update for everyone. But the progress is continuing. Another hurdle's been passed. We still have things to do, but the progress is much more rapid than it has been in the past. And basically, that's where we are. We will, like I say, have much more definite information when we make that public meeting. One here in Pequannock and also in Lincoln Park.
Any timeline, estimated timeline in your opinion? Your opinion, not their opinion.
Well, I'm still on the same feeling that within possibly 3 years would be fairly completed with it, but
We'll be by.
see what happens.
We'll still be.
Anybody, as Dave knows, when you put an application into the state for environmental, work that has to be done, that time process is not fast. That in
Sounds like
itself.
government.
Well, no, but I mean that the department is understaffed. There's a lot of applications, and it's going to be reviewed and so forth and so on. It's going to be in more than one town, etc. So that'll take a little while. But I mean, we may only be talking about 12 to 18 months for the completion of that. So we also are looking at the erosion of the river. Dave knows what we're talking about there. At Aquatic Park, the river has come into the road, the right-of-way of the railroad, and that has to be repaired environmentally correctly, so to protect the water course of the Pequannock River. So that also is something that might require permitting because of the stream encroachment activity there.
All good news.
Yep.
Yeah, it is good news.
Any questions?
Well, you say "we" about the remediation. Is "we" the county or "we"
No, the county is the,
we who?
the Morris County Board of Transportation is the
Okay.
lead entity in the case of getting those required permits and so forth.
Okay. I was just curious as to who "we" would be.
Well, no, I'm
Because you never know who's
talking
left.
as a member of the Morris County Board of
Okay.
Transportation, and also the Open Space Committee, where kind of, some of these things are joined together, because we're also looking at that point to have the ability to have an opening into Aquatic Park, and maybe at this point, I might add that we might think of what we're gonna do with the parking area, and maybe enter into some discussion about developing that parking area in the DOT property that we lease at Aquatic Park.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's the most news I've heard in years. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Frank?
Frank Spizzeri, 35 West Franklin Avenue, Chair of Open Space. Well, this is the last meeting of 2015. We just had our last meeting on the 14th, and actually, we had our Land Conservancy representative there, and as far as easements go, there's been really no progress on anybody signing anything, or not that many contacts either. Even though they did send out more letters, but we were a little specific when we talked to them that we wanted them to actually, talk to the people and see
Yeah, it
what's
takes
going on. But
conversation.
that didn't transpire. We also, as you know, we're redoing the Rossi. And at the meeting, she told me that they needed some information. First off, the lease for Aquatic Park. Now, we've done this in 2000. We did it in 2010. We did it, the update in 2012. Now in 2016, they're telling me that they need a copy of the lease. I'm saying, well, why didn't we need it the other 3 times that we did this? It's a 99-year lease to boot anyway. But with a little due diligence and some help from the people in Diane and Carol and Linda and my traveling around to the different people trying to get the information, we did get a copy of the lease, which was all signed in 2003, which started in 2004, and is good till 2103. I also got the resolution that was passed by the council at that time to sign the lease, so that should take care of that particular thing. The other questions were, why is there a water tank by Greenview Park? I said, well, it's been there since even Greenview Park was there.
Right.
So why do we care why it's there? It's there, and we're not going to move it. So I do have information on that to give them. The other one was the animal shelter. Now that's been there probably since the 60s or 80s, I don't know when it was, but long before Washington Park was ever developed into what it is now. So why they're asking these questions, and her answer is that Green Acres has changed their formatting of how they enter stuff in and keep records of. They're using GIS and all this other stuff. And I said, well, they were using it when we did the 2012 update, so, anyway.
Yeah,
we had
but
to
Frank,
jump
wasn't
through it.
there some issues back here too when you were updating it?
That's all taken care of.
Yeah, it was taken care of, but maybe, as new people look at it in fresh eyes, they come up with new things.
No, I don't know. Well, anyway, my answer to them was, Green Acres is a pain in the tail, so maybe we don't even want Green Acres money anymore because they make it jump through hoops and they keep changing the rules. It's ridiculous. But in any case, I have my shotgun loaded, so I'm going up there next week and take care of all it.
Frank, that was recorded.
Pardon?
I know.
It's recorded. I have my.
He's talking about bear hunting, okay.
The grant that we put in for doing the kiosks and the benches and stuff for the Riverwalk, they haven't made a decision on that yet. Now it's postponed until January. It was November, then it was December, now it's January. So we're still waiting for that answer whether we're even going to get the grant. So I don't know what's
As long as
taking
the
so
bike
long.
path.
Well, supposedly there
Don't
was
be
two.
patient.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're asking for money, so I guess they can take as much time as they want before we
There's
get.
usually deadlines.
Yeah. And basically, I'd just like to thank the council and previous councils, if they're listening and if they watch Channel 77, for all their help with open space. The Open Space Committee is a fine bunch of people, and we try to do our best. And we thank you for your help. And when we come up with something that we think should be done, you guys are pretty much agreeable, and we appreciate that.
No, we appreciate all you do, Frank, too. We know the open space has done a lot. We wouldn't be as far as we are on a lot of these flood properties if it wasn't for open space. We
Thank
know that.
And without your leadership, Frank.
I don't know who's going to be the leader next year, but I'll still be here. So with
That's on it, Frank.
with that, I would just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a healthy and happy, prosperous New Year, in case I don't get to see you.
Thank you. Merry
Thank
Christmas.
Steve, do you have something that you want to report? I was a little concerned that you weren't going to come up in this part.
Yeah. Name and address for the record.
Stephen Connolly, 44 Duncan Avenue. I really wasn't sure if it was
This is the
now
time.
or later. So,
You're a
okay.
volunteer. You're an official volunteer.
Okay, I didn't know if I was a volunteer or if,
No
you know,
foreign member of the public. You're a
a
volunteer.
forced volunteer. So, for the skate park committee, we've been discussing a lot about location. We had a recent development which seems pretty promising, and David Cole, you are aware of this conversation David Sipple had with you and the Boys and Girls Club, that they are open to possibly having the park at their location. It's one of the locations by the road. I forget the exact address, but it's right by the front parking lot.
Right, it's by the
Yes.
firehouse.
It's right across
Yeah,
from the
I think it's
firehouse.
15 Oak maybe.
Yeah.
It used to be a house there. We took a look at it after our meeting, and you know, we thought it was a pretty good size for what needs to get done. So David talked to Danielle, and she's going to come out to the January 30th meeting, so we could talk about it some more.
So are we having a meeting on January 3rd
The 2nd.
or 2nd?
This is-
I would say,
Okay.
yeah, I think that would be
They
a
could
good
meet
idea.
any sooner.
They couldn't, yeah. So, I mean, I want to try to meet with them, or all of us meet with them regardless, just to kind of talk about it more before the public meeting, but, you know, we don't have to do that.
Has anybody reached out to you, Dave? Or no? Executive?
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
so, that was the biggest, good news that we've had. And also Red Bull, is going to donate, rental space for our, granite. So, that's finalized, and we're getting that done in, second week in January.
And how much money did you raise to move that?
$1,000,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
And how fast did you raise that?
a week.
Very good.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
I mean, goes to show the town's really behind it. So,
That's good news.
yeah. That's about it for now.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Anyone else? Volunteer? No, you're right next. The next item on the agenda is public comment. This public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period of public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized to come to the microphone and provide your name and address for the record.
Tom Housleben, 3 Peck Ave, Pumpkin Plains. I'd like to submit my second application to be considered to be connected to the North Pumpton Turnpike sewer extension.
So let me just, did I hear you say second?
Excuse me?
Did you say second time?
Yes, I was here 3 months ago.
Yeah, you were here, but.
I'm just trying to make a paper trail in case one copy got lost. I'm trying to provide more than one copy tonight.
Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to add to this? Because you know this would have to be reviewed by engineering and a whole bunch of.
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
oh, yeah, I'm
I just
very
wondered if
brief.
there's anything you want to,
I have 4 items, I'm very brief.
Okay, no,
Okay.
no problem.
So I submitted my second application. I consider there to be no extra cost to the town to have this done. The connection to the main for 640 North Pumpton Turnpike, which is New Bridge, which I assume is a town-owned building. It will be a less cost to connect because the distance is shorter, and I will pay my assessment fee, which will go into the fund of the project, so there's additional money. I will make an appointment with the town engineer, Mr. Golden, to discuss the details that are required. I'm only 75 feet away from the New Bridge connection. I will pay for the additional piping to run 75 feet.
Are there any other extenuating circumstances with your septic or anything you want to add
I
to
don't
that?
have the technical ability to answer any more
Okay.
questions. I really do
Fair
feel
enough.
I need to get a meeting with Mr. Golden. So possibly he'll say, you have to do this, you have to do that, and I'll do whatever is required. And is there any starting date on the project?
New Bridge is not a town building.
Who
No.
owns the property?
Newbridge?
Okay. I assumed, it used to be
Private
Pequannock
profit.
Valley Mental Health Center. I'm a PTHS resident for 50 years.
Right.
Okay, so I know the town history a little bit. So I will do my homework and talk to the town engineer in return.
Well, the question the council's gonna have to deal with is a policy matter regarding sewering residential properties outside the designated priority area. And it goes back to having limited treatment capacity. And the whole master plan that was developed and the areas that were to be served were based on a priority list, so that commercial properties were included, but residential properties that were not in a floodplain are not in that priority. Once we provide service to, really just one residential property that's not outside of that policy structure that's been created, we really open ourselves up to, a whole lot of other properties, and it's, we have had other requests. They haven't been in front of council, but a good number come through my office and through the engineer's office, and we have always, responded in the same way, that if a property is outside the sewer master plan, outside the priority areas, and that's essentially most of the non-flood area of the township, essentially everything west of the Newark Palm Turnpike up to West Parkway, we have always responded the same way. So if council wants to revisit that policy issue, certainly put it on as a discussion item at one of our next meetings. But based on that policy, it's beyond staff's ability to consider Mr. Houseleben's request.
This is showing the spur going down. Peck, are we doing that?
No, this is a main line down Newark Palm Turnpike.
That's it. So it's a lot more than 75 feet.
Well, it's
You
a
gotta
spur down.
connect, you have to connect to New Bridge, okay?
Well,
And-
it's, how we do it, though, we put the line in North Pumpkin Turnpike,
Correct,
and they have to get there
correct,
through their property.
correct.
So it won't
Okay.
be out connected on Peck.
Okay. Has this entire North Pumpton Turnpike project, the word extension, been done to accommodate the Cabone Bar and Grill?
it was done at their request. It really completes the commercial district of, the Pompton Plains Business District. The sewer design that was initially started almost 10 years ago was intended to serve the village area, the floodplain area, and over time, it was going to be more cost effective. The original design, and I don't want to get too involved in this, but the original design had that sewer line running down Route 23 south to hook up to the Greenwood sewer pump station. Because of the expense of sewer pump stations, it was determined it was going to be more cost effective to run it up through our municipal building property, which is exactly what we've done, and over to a line in the boulevard. Once that line was designed, it then made sense, and these decisions were made before I was township manager, to then extend the line into the business district, which was also one of the areas identified that was to be served. Now, at that point, it really only went up as far as Jackson Avenue. Another modification had it go up as far as Evans, but it did not go beyond that, and there are another dozen commercial properties north of Evans Place.
I don't want to interrupt. I always wait my turn.
That's a little bit of the history of it, how it came to be.
I understand the growth, and I understand you accommodated Evans Ave for the special needs people, and I understand you're accommodating the Cabone's Bar and Grill. How many commercial properties from point A, Evans Ave, to point B, which is Cabone's Bar and Grill, is there in between that, with a total of approximately 18 properties? How many of those are commercial?
I believe it's 12. It's more than half of the properties.
Could you list 5 of them to me? I mean, I believe that maybe, I didn't do a head count on commercial to residential, but it appears to me you're pulling in approximately 15 residential people into this extension, which is stopping again at Cabone's, not going a foot past. It's satisfying their needs, okay? Of the 15 residential or 14 or 13 in between point A and point B, 2 properties have new sewer systems. And within your time frame, whether it's 2 years or 3 years, I don't know all the details, they will be forced to connect to your extension, which is stopping at point B, the Cabone's. Okay, so I feel 2 people don't want to connect, but they're being forced to. I want to connect. Okay, I know you got this, can't do it for one, can't do it for the other, but it's just a matter of logic. Okay, it's right there. It's available if you consider me. Okay, that's my real big question is, I guess I'll count how many commercial properties are between point A and point B. I walk the street. I have the house numbers, okay, off of the top of my head, there's an unused gas station, unoccupied. There's now the old Ostergaard building, which is now Pequannock Dental, I believe, or whatever their dental name is. Mm-hmm. I can think of 2 so far. Is a church considered commercial? I can think of 3 so far. Can you add to my list of 3 commercial properties?
The Legion.
The Legion.
Legion, we're up to 4.
There's the rehab.
Yeah, where they do the plan.
Yeah, Pompton Valley Mental Health.
What about the lawyer?
On the other side of the street. I mean, off the top of my head, I can think
Well, you
of
had 5.
7.
You only had one. You're at like one. That one. Well, just say 5 and 15. You're at 1/3. You know, I'm saying 18 units. I'm saying maybe 5 commercial.
Get the liquor store.
So you're not even less than. You're not even halfway there with your statement. It's done for the commercial district.
It is done for the commercial district, and if you look at a zoning
Yeah,
map,
that's not the point.
that area is zoned commercial.
Does a residential homeowner pay commercial tax, or do they pay residential tax?
But there are residential properties within the commercial district, but zoning, it is commercial.
We hear what you're pleading, and I understand what you want, and it's not unreasonable. I think you have to leave it up to the council to put it on for a discussion.
Okay.
We can't solve it tonight, and I know
I'm
what you're
patient.
saying. I know.
Okay.
I know.
And I gave you my paperwork, I gave you one copy, okay? I figured, you know what, if I spread a paper trail out, if one got lost, it's very possible.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained on your part, right?
Correct, I'm here
I know,
doing what I feel is step one,
right.
you know?
And we hear you loud and clear.
Okay, no, I appreciate it.
And I'm not promising anything, I'm not
No,
denying anything.
I understand.
I will,
But-
What year did the master plan
Hmm.
go into effect?
I don't remember. It's, I'm gonna say between 10 and 12 years ago.
Don't you have the master plan there?
Do you know of any time frame? I just hear things on the street, I talk to
What's
people.
the date?
Obviously, I have a large concern.
for the completion.
Is there going to be a expansion of the sewer plant, okay, within the next 7 or 10 years? And you talk about volume. I understand volume and GPM and flow and all of those, volume is volume is a quantity, an amount, okay? 4 people live in my home, 2 people are in college 8 months a year. My volume will be a drop in the hat compared to the volume of a bar and grill. Someone goes to the urinal, whether male or female, flushes the toilet, 1 gallon, okay? How many times could that happen on a weekend? I don't think my volume for a month would even come close to the volume for a weekend. I understand volume, pressure, and all of that, okay? So I'm just saying, I appreciate you.
Yeah, we have to have a discussion. We
Yeah, you do,
yeah,
you
we
do
have to
appear to have a little concern.
Yeah.
My request is, just, it's right there. It's just
And I know what
so hard to not receive.
I know,
I-
and I applaud you for coming out and requesting, because there's other people who, in other
Okay.
areas who maybe wish and just don't even say.
Right.
It's probably high time the council looks at the master plan and we review it. No promises,
I understand.
but we will,
I've been heard. That's all that
You've
really
been-
matters. I've been heard.
yes.
I appreciate it.
No,
Have
thank
a
you.
good holiday.
You too.
Season forgiving.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, next on the agenda, public hearing ordinance 2015-18. Ms.
Oh,
Moore?
yes.
Oh,
Oh,
is there
yeah,
one more?
something.
Oh, okay.
I have a quick question. I'm sorry. Stephen Connolly, 44 Duncan Avenue. I have a question about the, I keep seeing on the agenda, the property acquisition in closed session. When will that be public?
It becomes public after the council decides to make an offer. What happens with property acquisition, if we disclose that publicly before we bid on property, then we've just alerted the world
Sure.
to the fact that we're interested in property. So
Then-
typically, when we agree to enter into a contract, we'll have an actual ordinance
Okay.
authorizing us to enter into a contract, and then the property will be identified.
And what's the process as far as public comment after?
Yeah, what will happen is there'll be an ordinance that will be introduced, and then it will be subject to a public hearing. So there'll actually be a public hearing on the contract to enter into to purchase the property.
So it's one public meeting on the contract?
There'll be an actual public hearing on the contract.
There's actually
2 meetings, but 1 hearing.
One, right.
Okay,
And they will be part of council.
okay, okay, that's it, thank you.
All right, thank you. Lou?
Louis Bear, 11 Copley Court, Fountain Plains. Can I ask a question about the resolutions that are up for approval?
Sure,
Before
which
we
one?
approve them?
You have a certain one?
2.
Go ahead. What's the numbers?
The
Or the stuff?
209, the cooperative agreement for the dial-a-ride program.
Right.
Is that a different program, or is that just a renewal of the
renewal.
existing agreement?
Yeah, it's renewal of, all the agreements of all 5 towns renew every 5 years.
Okay,
So it's just
this is the 5th year.
5-year renewal
Oh,
that we are all going through at this time.
Yeah,
okay, I didn't...
no concern there, Lou. There should be no concern.
No, not a concern, I just was wondering if
You
there's another
wanted to
program that you were adding,
differentiate.
like a veterans program or something.
Oh,
Because that's been talked about quite a bit. But, okay. And 213 is the other one with the water supply. What is that emergency about?
We use a lot of water. It was a hot, dry summer. We ended up drawing a lot more water from Newark water supply, which, we now take Newark water and blend it with our own.
Mhm.
Because our usage was up significantly overall, we use a lot more Newark water and we have to buy that water. So we have more expense, but we also have more revenue coming in because we sold them.
Right,
But we didn't appropriate for it, so we have to.
okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I just wondered what it was. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Marsh, ordinance number 2015-18.
This is an ordinance amending Chapter 160 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Pequannock entitled Streets and Roads concerning restrictions on street openings.
Thank you. Are there any comments from council? We can talk about this one. Okay. If anyone in the audience has questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Okay. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make that motion to adopt ordinance 2015-18.
I'll second. Roll call?
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mr. Vanderhoff?
Yes.
Mayor Winterfield?
Yes. There are no ordinance scheduled for introduction at this time, so we'll move on for the regular resolutions. The next agenda item is resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2015-205, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. R 2015-206, authorizing the utility collector to cancel utility balances for the year 2015. 2015-207, authorizing the reinstatement of special assessment installment payment plan. R 2015-208, authorizing release of designated escrow deposits. R 2015-209, authorizing a cooperative agreement to provide transportation services for senior and disabled residents through the Dial-A-Ride program. R 2015-210, providing for the appropriation of debt service requirements for the 2016 fiscal year. R 2015-211, authorizing cancellation of outstanding checks. R 2015-212, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the December 17th, 2015 bill list. R 2015-213, authorizing an emergency appropriation for the purchase of bulk water from the Newark Water Supply.
Got a misprint in it.
Yeah, right.
214. The next one.
Yes, and excuse me.
And the last one, which was distributed this afternoon, is R 2000, it should be 214, accepting a temporary construction access and license agreement from Wells Fargo Bank N.A. at 523 State Route 23 in connection with the Village Area Sewer Project.
Okay. Are there any comments on the resolution, council?
Just state what that,
Besides the correction.
temporary construction access.
Yeah, this is something that's come up very recently. One of the final pieces of the sewer project, there's a correction that Underground Utilities has to make to a section of pipe that runs underneath the drainage basin at Jackson Ave and Route 23. In order to correct it, the end point of that line is actually in the parking lot of the Wells Fargo Bank. So this construction easement, and Wells Fargo has been very particular about dotting I's and crossing T's. A lot of the property owners, just through the course of working with, were able to manage that, but they were very insistent that everything kind of be lined up, and that a formal construction easement, which covers everyone, not that they wouldn't be covered, but it kind of puts in writing the agreement and the insurance coverage and liability coverage, while our contractor is on their property engaged in construction. So this came up recently. This is something we're hoping to have completed and fixed by the end of the year, so.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Have they read it? They'll accept this once we pass it?
Yes, this came from them.
Oh, good. That's why I'm hoping we don't have to do this again.
So, yes.
This is with a ton of money putting it there.
Put it, yes, probably.
Yeah, right? Isn't that your bank, Rich?
Yes.
Yeah.
Take all that money out.
They took all your interest for the year. All right. Are there any other comments? No. Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2015-205 through 2015-214.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mr. Vanderhoff?
Yes.
Mayor Winterfield?
Yes. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the boards and committees.
I would make a suggestion. Dave Pohl's been diligently working on this. Diligently.
I can see his color-coded sheet there.
Suggest he reads through it, and then anyone has comments, we can change, but, it appears to be mostly appointments this year.
It seems to be reappointments too, as I was looking at it, so maybe the evening of the reorganization, if I can make a suggestion, is that each person who's a liaison can make their nominations and second it and move forward from there. If we can, because you're not gonna be able to have, you know, printed up sheets ahead of time.
There you go. Why wouldn't you be able to print a sheet?
Yeah, sure. I can print a sheet,
Sheet or print a sheet?
if I know the names to put on.
If you know the names to put on it, right?
Why don't we
The
have
nominations.
Mr. Cole
Do a
read
draft.
the names?
Yeah.
And if somebody has an issue, they can bring it.
Okay, for Two Bridges Sewer Authority, Rich will be reappointed.
I'm sorry, wait, could you?
That's failing PHELA.
The one and only.
I don't know, there's some other fails out there.
Carol, you let me know when you're ready.
Sure. go ahead.
Library Board of Trustees. Nicholas Calante is gonna be reappointed.
Correct.
Do we wanna talk about the,
The liaison?
The liaison, I think, is gonna be Melissa.
Yeah, because you're okay with that, Melissa?
Yeah, if nobody else wants it, I'll do it.
The only reason I want to change is because I want to be able to attend the Martinberry meeting,
Right, okay.
and I
If
haven't been
nobody else
able
wants
to.
it, I said I would definitely do it. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate that, Melissa.
Planning Board, Jay Vanderhoff.
Yes.
All right, Roger Infield will be reappointed. And we are going to leave the alternate two vacant.
Okay.
Okay.
Zoning Board, Lou Bear, Roger Infield, Lou Scavarca, Wayne Wittenberg.
Okay.
Environmental, Tom Andrea. Alberta Oliva has
Resign.
resigned, and we're going to fill her spot with Jacob Cardinal. Ralph DeBono is being reappointed. Anna Wu has resigned. We're going to leave her spot open.
Can I make a suggestion
Really?
before you move on?
Sure.
Could we move Stephen Boyd into the vacant spot because he was an alternate? Does that make sense?
That works for me.
Because he reapplied. I just,
It makes sense.
okay.
So Stephen Boyd is going to become
Anna Wu.
Anna Wu's spot.
And that, well, alternate will be vacant then, right?
Yes.
What happened with Anna? She just met
I
with
know,
us
she was
about
just
doing
here,
her
she really
website.
wants to stay, she's been struggling with it for the last couple of months because she's so busy, I guess, with school and work and stuff like that, but,
Does that
we're
mean
gonna
the
leave
website
it,
is next?
yeah, right, we're gonna leave it vacant, she'll, you know, if she can make it to some meetings, she'll come, but she just sent it today.
Shade Tree,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Lou Scavarca, and Forrest Harper. Economic Development. The Scott, what's her first name?
Griselda Scott there,
Griselda Scott has,
she's not going back.
and Clay Mason is gonna take her spot. Jeff Turry is gonna be reappointed. And Robert Richardson.
For the vacant spot,
Mm-hmm.
so that'll round that out.
Fair Housing, Tom Malika and Troy Terry.
Okay.
Flood Control, Donald Argot, Ken Hardacre, Louise Marchese, Kim Chorba. And for the vacant position, we're going to appoint Robert Corrado. Historic, Jane Costello, and we are going to leave the two vacant spots open.
Right, because that's just up to, right.
I know.
Oh, wait. What about,
I gotta go back.
Monza? Nobody wants to entertain him? I would definitely like to put him back on the Historic Commission.
I'll second it.
I know he put in his application.
You have no problem with them? That's,
He's been.
Is there an opening there?
Yes.
Yeah, there's two.
Does anybody have any issues?
add it in.
I would not have an issue.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And on the historic, Robert Sarafic, he put in for open space.
Oh, yeah, I did see that, yeah.
We would like, I know we don't appoint, but historic should really consider him as the open space liaison, being that he wanted to be part of open space.
Rather than Anita? Okay.
Well, no, right now we don't have a.
Yeah, we have
Well,
a need.
Anita kind of temporarily, even though we didn't like officially appoint, is Anita was going.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was the name again?
Robert
Suffolk.
Safari.
Okay.
But he should definitely.
He would like to be a regular member of Open Space.
Yeah, and we really haven't, a need for the liaison for historic, so it would be a great fit.
Right, and you can't be a member historic and a member of open space. You can be a liaison,
Right.
Why not?
but you can't have a dual membership like that.
Really?
Affiliated?
Why not?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have two voting people from historic.
No, we don't really. They don't have any voting power anyway, honestly. But because it's not written the way a real historic commission should be written. So I don't see. Do you see any problem with that? Because we don't really have a real historic commission, as per the law says. We've talked about that. And we didn't want to do that as a council.
Yes. We'll look at it.
Okay. All right.
All right, for open space, we were gonna reappoint Joe Wells, and we were going to temporarily leave the vacant spot open.
Okay.
Let's see what goes on. Parks and Rec, Robert Jones, William Zickler, Dave Taramina, and Sue Harlow. And the youth liaison will be Rebecca Wells. Dial-A-Ride, Carol Ashley. And senior citizen, we are going to leave open. Melissa will get you the names before January 4th, because there's,
Just to give you a little update on that, if you're looking at your sheets, there was 2 people that did not put in for reappointments, but then there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that put in, and that's because they've been combining DISC and senior
Right, right,
advisory.
right.
So we're just gonna iron that out in the next couple of days.
Okay. Thank you.
there was one person that put in for the teen advisory committee, but I don't know if we're going to bring that committee back.
Well, I think there was another one.
Rebecca Wells is a student.
No. There was another one on the weekend. Carol, you got that? With
No.
Jordan? He checked that off? Do you have his?
Possibly.
I put them in my box. Did you get them?
I didn't,
There were all the,
it's entirely possible that it's.
okay.
I was just looking for skateboard, I might have overlooked that.
There was another box check. Are you still interested?
I'll have to see with school and plan to go back and see if I can.
Well, the meeting is whenever you want it to be.
Okay.
I'm not twisting you. It could be really a yes or no. Your buddy next to you put in, he needs a partner.
Sure, yeah. Oh, no, not team, you're not team.
It's a volunteer, it's not a
Yeah,
force,
that's
yeah.
I do have it.
You can resign if it doesn't work
Okay.
out. How about I'll leave that open for you?
That's fine.
And the joint study commission is going to stay the same with Kathy and myself.
Okay.
What about skate park?
That's what Carol has there, she,
That's all right.
Everyone, as
So
far
it's
as
just gonna be, the recommendation is to reappoint.
appoint
the same
everyone
people.
that.
right,
yes.
yeah, to redo, like, there's a thing for the resolutions, yeah, you have to
They've
do.
only had 2 meetings, let's just reappoint the same people.
Right, and she has all that in hand.
Okay, so we're all good with that.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
so.
good with that.
Okay, yeah, just,
Just making sure.
I have one question.
sure.
On open space,
Uh-huh.
you showed Chris Lafito on there?
Frank's Missouri, 35 West
I
Frank.
don't think so.
No,
See, he resigned.
He resigned.
Yeah, I know, but,
He's not on the list, right?
He didn't put in for it, he
No,
resigned.
Tom,
No.
no.
so we only have one vacant spot?
Well, there's
There's
a
actually
historic
2.
commission vacant spot,
Yeah,
and then we have a secretary vacant spot.
Well, the historic, make it Robert,
Yeah.
make it him for
So
now.
if Robert takes the historic commission,
There's still one spot,
we have 1 spot vacant.
okay.
and no one put in for it, I guess.
Keep me honest.
Thanks, Frank. Okay, you're gonna roll, Dave, go ahead.
And that's it.
You got the floor.
That covers everyone.
Okay.
I think, as far as council, everyone will stay on the same committees that we've had. And then Melissa will take the library, and
And I guess if we float a draft, then we can make sure we just get another once over, so we're not like the Keystone Cup.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
The mayor's appointment, the mayor's designee to the planning board, are you gonna take that position, or?
No, we're gonna leave
Richard, okay. That stays the same.
Thanks at Wells Fargo.
Used to make a son of Louise.
Yes, yeah.
And may I ask if the liaison's gonna stay the same?
Yes,
Okay, all right, great.
except for the one library, yeah. Okay. That's probably the most productive items for discussion we've had in a long time.
Yes.
Anybody else have? Good job. Reports and notices. Next on the agenda, report notices. There's no reports or notices this evening. Mr. Holberg, manager's report. Uh-oh.
No, you did not. Well, actually, you got an email this afternoon, and that makes up the bulk of my report. But I will identify those things for the record. Committee has gone through the process of evaluating the water tank RFPs. This is part of... The committee has gone through the process of evaluating the water tank engineering RFPs. This is done without looking at any of the financial numbers, and it's it's part of the independent process of RFPs, where there's a little more involved than just taking the low bidder. I did circulate to council the result of those, and each of the reviewers were pretty uniform in how each of the respondents were ranked. The next step is to, township engineer will then take those reviews and compile a summary of the pricing, so that each response can be looked at kind of on an apples to apples, because they all identify things slightly differently. Once we have a handle on what the actual price costs were, we'll have a recommendation and kind of a grid format summary for the governing body to review. Hopefully by the end of January, we'll be in a position to actually make an award for the engineering, which should take 6 to 8 months. So I think we're on schedule to have engineering done in 2016, bids out, and all of the engineers kind of identified about an 18-month construction project. So we're looking at kind of the end of 2017 or early 2018 for that water tank to be in place. Legislation was introduced regarding the hospital taxation issue, which is a response to the Morristown case. The Senate version of that has been passed. There's an assembly version which is still out there and will probably be sent to committee in early January. The league has been following this, and I distributed some of their feedback on the matter earlier today as well. If this does go to Assembly Committee in early January, there will probably be some membership from the league that will be attending some of those hearings. I have offered to be a professional representative to do that, since we are impacted. This is moving very, very quickly for legislation, especially in a lame duck session, so I wouldn't be surprised if the legislation passes, and then our efforts are going to be in the governor's office and probably on appeal, depending on how the final version of this ends up.
Any update on the preservation plan for the Martinberry House?
It is moving along as expected. The architect met with both Historic District Commission as well as the Pequannock Township Historic Society. Chris has been involved in that process. We've had some interaction in terms of what we're looking for. So I would expect in January or February that we're going to come. January?
A draft?
Yeah, a draft and a presentation to you guys.
Oh, okay.
Before they submit their final report, so that you'll have an opportunity to ask questions and provide input also.
Okay.
But it's moving along very well. We've also started the process of looking at our overall township communications and trying to do a better job of coordinating and maybe adding some pieces, especially in the area of social media. So we've talked to an outside firm that kind of did a 50,000-foot review of our website and a couple other things, gave us some feedback, and I'm expecting a proposal and a report from them to help us go through a process to bring some things together. And I'm doing that in conjunction with budget preparation. So that's my report.
That's good news. Also, did you see the little blurb on the Cadillac tax being pushed back to you?
Yes, I did.
That was,
Also
I
good
don't
news.
know, good news too. I'm not sure what that means for the future, but it's good for now. Yeah.
One step at a time.
Yes. Councilman Cole?
I really don't have anything other than that, you know, that polar plunge is January 10th. Sign up,
Looks like there should be open water too.
get wet.
Is it gonna be as warm as Christmas Day? Can we push it up and do it on Christmas? Yeah, Melissa?
I really don't have anything.
Okay, all right. Councilman Vanderbilt?
Really don't have anything.
Taylor?
I think Steve covered everything, so I don't have anything.
I don't have anything either, just Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Been a great year, no floods.
Yeah.
Have a great holiday. Thank you, we have a closed session.
Well, we have.
Oh, yeah, public comment. I have nothing left. Wait, yep, sorry. Public comment is next, anyone
Not
wishes
me.
to address
Well, on the
council?
comment,
I'm
the
done.
garbage is gonna be picked up on the 26th.
Oh, yeah, the sign is out, changed outside. Very good.
Everyone knows.
Tell your neighbors,
Tell your neighbors.
26th, that's Saturday.
yes.
So good.
If anyone wishes to address council, please wait to be recognized, come to the microphone, provide your name and address for the record. Okay? So I guess I'm a psychic?
Merry Christmas, Happy
All right, we have a closed session. Next on the agenda, we have closed session, so I have a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.